All right, welcome everybody to the Birddoggin podcast. Appreciate you for listening. Got a special guest today, Mr. Jake Delger. We're going to talk a little bit about kind of Jake's origin story, how we connected, and how we've become really good friends over the last little bit. So I'm putting him on the spot. Called him, said, "Hey, I want to do a podcast," and he was gracious enough to spend a little bit of time with us. So, Jake, welcome. Thank you for coming. Tell us a little bit about. We're gonna do some more information about Pop and Sage, but tell me, I think if we look back, originally you found me through social media.
Yeah, I think I found you in 2019. I knew as a kid I always wanted a hunting dog. I wasn't sure if that was a lab or a pointer or what, but
Right.
after doing a little research, I decided I wanted a pointer and found you guys on social media. So we chatted in DMs back 6 years ago before I
Well,
knew who you were or anything. I just found you and decided I wanted a puppy from you. So
right.
then fast forward to 2021, I went on your website and put down a deposit on a puppy and started actually talking to you and getting to know you more, and we just
Cool.
connected at that point.
I remember one of the comments you made when we first started chatting is like, "Man, you're super busy because you're like one-liners." Because you would send me a DM and I would be like, "Yes, that sounds good." So if anybody knows me, I'm not real great on the phone. One of my strengths is not communicating to people through chat. So if you reach out, just know that that's one of the things. But Jake was persistent, so that was good. I was glad that he wasn't easily deterred.
Yeah, you're good on the phone, but if they're texting you, it's gonna be a one-liner. You're too busy for that. You're too busy to be texting people back all day.
I know usually got a check cord, a leash in the hand. So
Exactly.
um, so you put a deposit in. We set you up with Poppy.
Hmm.
Tell us how that experience went. Like from the time you put the deposit in till the time you came down. If I remember right, you were pretty excited to come get a dog. Lots of
Yeah.
questions, lots of excitement.
Yeah, so it was probably just over 6 months. I put the deposit down in the fall, and then Poppy was born in April.
The next
And
week.
then I was getting, or fast forward, or rewind. I put a deposit down in the fall, and I know you had a litter in January, but it wasn't necessarily one that I wanted or had a color puppy that I wanted,
Oh,
and it was
that's
very
right. Yeah,
soon.
okay. That's right.
So then you had the next litter, which was Emma Cash in April, which is
Right.
the one that Pop came from, and you were sending pictures, and there were a couple that I wanted, but after meeting him in person, we kind of decided on Poppy, and it was cool getting all the puppy updates and kind of watching them grow from day one and seeing their personalities come out, because people don't realize how much personality these dogs have, and it's pretty wild. They
Yeah.
have an attitude sometimes.
Yeah, I remember Pop coming home. Some of the first texts I got from you were like her zooming around, just being wild and crazy in the evening time, which that's pretty typical of a pointer pup, right? Is to have the zoomies in the evening. Kind of give them a second to buzz through that. Most people don't realize that's a big dopamine and adrenaline drop that the puppy's just cycling through. So it's kind of Mother Nature at work.
Yeah, I notice it with Sage now. When she's getting tired or she's been playing outside too long, she just starts running bonkers, bouncing off the walls. I'm like, okay, I guess it's time for a nap.
Time to shut it down. Yeah.
Exactly. Not the
So you,
time to teach obedience when they're bouncing off the walls.
right. So you got Pop, and then what happened next?
So I got Poppy in, I picked her up at the end of May, and I spent the summer with her, and then end of August I brought her down to you. I'm like, hey, this dog is crazy. I don't know what to do. So I'm
Right.
like, take her.
Yeah.
Take her, do some obedience. So then she was with you for 9 weeks,
Right.
and it's so wild how you have to adjust your whole life to from not having a dog to then getting a dog and having a puppy and then to them being gone. It's like you're always adjusting your life because they're a part of your daily routine. So had to adjust that and brought her down to you for obedience and then bird intro. But the obedience was the major part there because I she was making my life crazy because
Hard.
I didn't know what I was doing training a dog, and
Right.
obviously you did. So I'm like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. We need to send her away, and it was so worth it. Those 9 weeks made it a whole new dog. It's like she went from speaking Spanish, where I don't know Spanish, to now she understands what I'm asking from her. it's like they kept their personality, but now they just understand the language that you're speaking and what you expect from them.
She did well. I think, overall, I think she did a really good job. I think we on the bird dog side, I think we lacked a little bit on the retrieve. Her pointing was there. She was a gun introed. E-collar was all put into place. Yeah, I think the big, huge the aha moment definitely was on the obedience side, because after that, the second time you brought her back down, you walked her onto an airplane. You went home, did some work. Obviously, you kept working and kept working and kept working, and we stayed in correspondence. You're like, hey, I think I want to try and fly this dog next time. And I'm like, great. Really get your down command in there and work on a couple of tightening some things up, which you did awesome. And the next time you came back down, you flew with Poppy.
Yeah, I picked her up around November, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And then I flew back down sometime in February, because then we went to the pheasant farm with her.
That's right.
And we kind of brought her on her first hunt, kind of introducing her to more of those bigger birds rather than just pigeons, and kind of see how she does. And she wasn't quite ready. She just wanted to walk behind me at that point.
Yeah, I think we were rushed. I don't know. We were trying to get her exposed, have fun, and most people don't realize those first 5 to 10 hunts. I know you think you dream about it being this magical thing, and you go out there and after 20 minutes, your puppy's like, "What are we doing? Like, I don't know what we're doing." We're hunting new cover, we're hunting new places, we're hunting birds that they've never smelled before, so they just follow you around. I do think she picked up. I think you shot a bird for her and she went and retrieved it. I can't remember on that first one.
Maybe, yeah, I can't remember either.
I know it ended like the first day we went, the first evening we went, there wasn't much. But the next morning when we hunted, I think there was something. If I remember right, she made a retrieve or pointed a bird and retrieved a bird or something, and you were like, okay, cool. There's a little bit of glimpse there, and got her some reps in. Basically, is what we're trying to do. Just expose her. At that point, you can only play. You can only train so much, and then it's time to go do the real thing.
And I had hammered so much obedience for the past 6+ weeks.
To get on a plane comfortably.
We're trying to fly on a plane rather than driving 12 hours. So she was so used to just obedience and down and all that stuff that it kind of pulled away from her hunting a little bit.
And that is it's a balancing act between hunting dog training and obedience training. Is you can suppress drive. If all you do is just focus on the obedience stuff, you'll soon have a dog that doesn't leave your side and just sticks. We call them sticky. They get sticky. So
you see it with David right now. He's having a problem where Millie doesn't really want to hunt.
She's not pushing out. Yeah, she's not really moving out. Yep.
She got scared of a gun last weekend.
Yeah, I think you said there was somebody else that was in a different canyon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one downside of hunting in big canyons when dogs aren't used to it and it's echoing through. It's a whole different sidebar.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, and then he turns around and shoots a bird in front of her and she's fine. Yeah. All right, fast forward a little bit. We could talk in detail about all of Poppy. Yeah. Poppy's become a really nice dog. You left her in February. I did some train retrieve work, and that kind of
I actually didn't leave her in February.
Was it not in February? Oh, you just came and hunted.
Came down and hunted, and then I came back in
March or April?
Mid-April. I think it was right after her birthday. So I came mid-April and left her for 6 weeks, and then came back at the seminar. And picked her up during the seminar, which was the end of May. So 6 weeks there for kind of finish her on birds and get her finished on force fetch, because I started on the hold training with her. Kind of make your job a little quicker, because 6 weeks.
Right.
Normally it doesn't. You can't force fetch that fast.
We pushed her Without the 9 weeks that she'd had previously here, that would have been almost impossible to do. What we did in 6 weeks was a lot. Yeah. And she kept up. I mean, she kept up fine. Fast forward to her very first wild bird pheasant hunt in Washington, which was last weekend, right?
Yeah. So last Saturday was the pheasant opener in Washington, and I let her out of the truck, and she's ready. Nose to the ground, flying back and forth through the thickest brush. It's 2 feet over my head, cattails, and thorns that are 1.5 inches long, and she doesn't even care. She's just flying through everything, slamming on point. Right. If I was a better shot, I would have had a limit, or my dad and I both would have had a limit, but we couldn't shoot birds for the heck of it. It's like shooting fish in a barrel, and we're missing every single one of them.
Missing every one of them.
But hey, she was having a blast doing it, and she did amazing. Holding point, I'd walk 50 yards, she wouldn't take a step, and then I'd come flush the bird and shoot and miss.
Nice. Yeah, you connected on a really nice rooster though, and the message I got from you was pretty excited. Like, I mean, that's, how old's Poppy? Is she a year? Year and
Yeah,
change?
she's a year and a half.
Year and a half. So we have a 1.5-year-old dog that's been through all of the obedience training, all the gun dog training, everything that I could possibly teach that dog has been taught, and then expand that with what Jake has put in. By no means are we saying that this is like what you could do at home, but it's definitely a representation of what's possible, right?
Absolutely.
A year and a half old dog who is doing what 10 years ago would have been a dog that I would have said, hey, about 2.5, So we're about a year and a half ahead with Poppy, because we have a system that's simple, it works, and you've put in a ton of work at home, right? I think most people forget that even if you have your dog professionally trained, you still have to continue and maintain and also become a good handler, right? You have to know how to read the dog. And I think your time here, not only with Pop, but with other dogs, you've been able to see a lot of different dogs behind the camera in a lot of different scenarios, and you're like, okay, now I can see what I don't want, I can see what I want, I can see how Jared's making all this work, which gives you the tools to continue stuff at home.
Absolutely. And now that you have the virtual training course, now that I have Sage, it's a whole game changer. And I think Sage is going to be ahead of Poppy. Like, I've thought she might be able to hunt later this season.
Right.
And she's only 3 months old currently. But just her drive and the way that she learns and how smart she is, I think that if I really wanted to, I could get her on birds this season. Or I just hammer on the shed hunting aspect of it, do that, and then after she's good on that, then start the birds, which was kind of my plan. Do sheds first so then she doesn't get birds and have no interest. But like this morning, I threw a shed 4 times down a hallway and she brought it back to me every time. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Here we go.
So it's pretty wild.
Yeah, we fast forward to today. Jake got Sage, a second dog, and she's 3 months and change?
Yeah, she'll be 4 months in a week and a half.
Week and a half. In the first two, first 2.5, 3 weeks, Jake just started working with place training and food luring, and man, I think in like 10 days you had almost all of Here Heel Place down, sit. You were sending her to a cot. She was spin, circle. Man, I don't know. It was amazing to watch how fast. What's really cool is you have a whole different understanding today than what you had when you got Pop. And so you're like, hey, Jared, I want to work this dog. What can I work her on that makes sense? And, I send you a few short little videos. You spend a little bit of time down here watching some of that stuff, and away you go. So
absolutely. I have so much more knowledge now than I did a year ago, that now I feel comfortable and confident in what I'm doing, that I can actually teach her and I'm not going to mess something up. Because I think that's what most people are afraid of. Quiet. I think that's what most people are afraid of, is they're going to hurt their dog more than they're going to help them. But in reality, them doing nothing is hurting them. And they should at least be doing something, or else that dog's going to come to you and just be a nutcase and just not be able to listen. Where now, me going through the virtual training course with Sage, she is at the level or above what she would be if I brought her to you, but I've also put a lot more time because I have one dog that I'm training rather than having 10 dogs that I'm training that each get divvied out during the day, and I've built that connection with Sage where she is able to just listen to what I want, and she respects me at this point. Like, she's only been home for 6 weeks, because I picked her up at 9.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's been about 6 weeks.
9
which is
weeks.
Crazy.
Yeah. So what you've accomplished in 6 weeks would have taken a year with Pop. With you just messaging me and trying to come down when you could, and we basically shaved a year off of that dog's learning curve. A couple of things that stood out when you said I had the confidence to train, which dogs will follow. If you're confident and you are doing things with a purpose, they'll be like, okay, and they'll pick it up. Intelligent dogs will, right? Stubborn dogs will tell you to pound sand, and you'll have to figure out a different way to communicate. But intelligent dogs that are biddable, that want to work with you, that want to be part of your team, that as much as we want to as trainers, I always tell most of my clients, like, hey, your dog and I have a relationship. It's more like an employee-boss relationship where you guys are like best friends, right? And so it's fun to watch you make a heck of a lot of progress in a short amount of period of time. A, because you're confident. B, because you have time. And C, because you're doing everything kind of the right way. And so the dog's learning how to learn. They're getting faster and faster and faster. So I think if anybody could take anything away from this podcast today is like, if you don't know what you're doing, get some help and find some simple things. If nothing else, to just teach the dog how to learn. Because right now, like if you wanted to go teach Sage a new trick, probably take you a day, maybe 3, to get whatever it is you want.
Probably
right?
One training session.
One training session.
That's how it's been for almost everything I've taught her. I do it one time, and she kind of knows what I'm asking. I'm like, you're wild. You're so smart. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you to see her when I come down there next week, and you'll see how much she's grown and how much her skills have changed in the last month. It'll be about a month since I saw you last.
I mean, we could do a whole podcast about genetics and how important genetics are. You guys are seeing that now. You, David, Sean got the other male in the litter. He owns the sire to the litter that he got from us 6 years ago, Blaze. Like what most people don't know is like that litter that you have, Sage, that pup, has over 70 years of intentional breeding behind it, partially because of us carrying something forward that somebody else started. And kudos to those guys we built upon their shoulders, and I'm appreciative of that every day. But we're to a point too where we're creating our own line of dogs. It's really neat to see when those puppies go to somebody that's willing to put in some effort. Man, it's just like lightning in a bottle. Like that. Yeah, like you said, if you wanted to, you could flip to birds right now, work that pup on 30 days of birds, 4 weeks, 3 weeks on birds, and you could be out hunting over her. Because she's just like, okay, cool, this is what we're doing today, right?
Yeah, which is crazy. You could be out hunting over a 4-month-old puppy. Like,
right.
That's unheard of.
That is unheard of.
Just the way that her drive is, like, right. No one can say that they have a 3-month-old puppy that does this.
She's asleep on the gunner.
Yeah.
And Pop's right there with her, right?
Yep, it's crazy. But
it's more than training. It's the whole way that you live with the dog. It's a lifestyle. It really is. How you communicate, how you train, how you teach, the bond that you're building, all of that becomes a lifestyle, and it just sets your dog up for success.
Yeah. Like if you saw the video I posted this morning, we went on an off-leash hike for 3 miles, and she's off-leash, doesn't go more than 50 yards from me, and if she's at 50 yards, I can recall her, and she will come running back to me. I'm like, no one can say that they can do that with a 3-month-old pup.
Right.
It's just the bond that we've built and the time that we've put in. Right. She understands and she respects me and she knows how to listen. I'm like, this is wild.
It's mutual.
Exactly.
And when I tell people that, they're like, huh? So here's the big fallacy that the general public believes is they can just love their dog into it. And the piece that they're missing, the piece of the puzzle, because like building these dogs and turning them into these elite athletes, it's like putting together a puzzle. Or building a house, however you want to look at it. But one of the pieces that they're missing in that puzzle is that respect piece. And when you have the mutual respect of like, hey, I respect you and I have confidence that you're gonna recall when I ask you to, so go have fun. And then the pup's like, and when Jake calls, he means it. It's not just like, if you want to, if you think it would be a good idea, this time why don't you come back? Versus the other 9 times you blew me off. So when you have that mutual respect, the love goes through the roof, and most people don't realize that. When the respect and the mutual respect is there, the bond becomes so strong, then it's not even like, it's just like, hey, come here. Okay. Lay down. Okay. Spin, circle, down, heel, here, place, all the stuff. The dog's like, okay. And then when you're done doing the work, you're like, okay, let's go have fun. And you're like, yeah, let's have fun. Yeah. It gets to the point where, like you made the comment the other day, it's like she knows what I'm thinking. That's where you get to. The bond becomes that strong when you're like, hey, let me teach you this new thing. I want you to I want you to touch this. I'm going to flip over this dog disc. I want you to put your feet on it, and then we're going to spin. Well, that could have taken me 2 or 3 days as a trainer to teach a dog to do that. You did it like 10 minutes or less.
Yeah, that video. That video I sent you, I literally set down my phone. She'd never seen an upside down bowl before. I'm like, let's see how this goes. Put my phone down, start videoing. She's like, okay. And then I'm like, I'm gonna try to walk in circles. And she's like, all right, I can move my rear end. I'm like, yeah, here we go.
So super smart dog, but Jake's built a bond there. and she's trying to work as a team. So whatever it is you're asking,
Which is
it's
great
kind.
because she's kind of at the age where normally they'd probably be flipping you the middle finger and
Yes.
wanting to not listen, where I've
Right.
kind of got ahead of that curve and
Yes.
she's already built that respect, so she's not doing that. Like the first time I went off leash with her on this hike, I'm like, I don't know how this is going to be. I'm like, she's not e-collar trained. She doesn't have an e-collar on. There's no backup if she doesn't listen to me. So I just hope she listens to me. And I had a leash with me just in case. I'm like, if she doesn't listen,
Yeah.
I'll just walk her on a leash. But she listens, so I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's go have fun.
That's so cool. Well, you're gonna have to post up with this podcast of a photo of Pop's first rooster because the tail feathers on the thing are like freaking mile long. That was a beautiful bird, man. A lot of color, good health, and looked like you were hunting some fun stuff. You did send some thick stuff, but some of it was nice. Some of
Yeah.
those swells and some of that grass and looked like a wheat or a barley that you were hunting. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, it was a wheat field, but we were hunting like the CRP grass where it was too steep for them to farm. So
gotcha.
in like ravines, there's like
Right.
probably 2-3 foot CRP grass that it connects. So down at the bottom, there's like a stream, and that's where that thick stuff was.
Right.
And I probably saw 100 birds in that thick stuff. And then I could hear every morning, you hear the roosters just going wild. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, they're up in these hills and they move to the water. And so they're moving between all day long.
Cool.
But so I was flushing them in both areas, but they were definitely more down at the water in that thick crap.
Right.
But yeah, I couldn't have really asked her to do any better. And I'm excited. I'm going down on Friday. We're going to go find some more pheasant, and I'll scout
Good.
for some elk because elk season opens this weekend.
Right on.
Get her on some more birds, and then next week I'm coming down to you, and David and I are starting
Yeah.
our road trip.
That's gonna be cool. I'm jealous you guys are doing that road trip. Looks like fun.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
You'll join us for a couple days.
Yeah, I'll be there for a little bit. So just to recap everything, like what's your general overall thought about step away from being my friend for a minute and just be a client of Best Gun Dogs. What's your general overall opinion of everything that's happened with Pop and with Sage? Like, what's your thoughts and feelings about Best Gun Dogs?
I think it's great. I couldn't recommend it more. Like, people with these high energy dogs, they need something. Like, if they're not going to put in the time and effort, this dog is going to ruin your life. Like, if you don't have the time to put in yourself, where they get the virtual training course and they put in 20 minutes a day,
Right.
just during feeding time, and they're going to work with their dog. If they don't have time for that, they just need to bring them to you, drop them off for 6-8 weeks, whatever it takes to get them to
Right.
that point. Because then they can actually live a life with their dog, and it's not just your dog is running your life. You can live a life together. So yeah, I couldn't recommend it anymore. Obviously, it sucks giving up your dog for 2 months, but
Yeah.
it's so worth it for the next 12 years of their life.
I mean, now you've flown with Poppy multiple times. You're setting up a road trip for the whole fall that you and David can go do. You're gonna go to Texas with your dog. Like, it just opened up the door for you to go do basically anything you want with her. And so yeah, there's a little bit of work up front, but man, the options are endless.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to the road trip through all the western states here in 2 weeks,
Cool.
and then Texas in February, and then you and I are going to Minnesota for Pheasant Fest.
Right.
Probably bring Poppy.
Right.
Like,
can't ask for more.
She'll be everywhere.
Yeah.
She's flown to Nashville. She'll fly to Texas. She's been to every western state. Yeah,
She's already been to Nashville and I haven't.
Yeah, right? I thought about flying with Sage and Poppy to Texas. I'm like, shoot, I could get Sage to that point, but I'm like, if she's not hunt ready, trained on birds,
Quite
I'm like,
ready.
there's not really a point. I'll just leave her with you, and you can have some fun with her for.
Yeah, I'll get her on some birds. It'll
Yeah.
be fun. Well, I appreciate you, man. I think Jake's the perfect example of somebody that's willing to put in. It seems like a big ask, but like you're saying, it's basically at feeding time. Get the obedience part in, teach your dog how to learn, teach them some mutual respect and build that bond. And then if you want gun dog training or a higher level of training, then you bring your dog down here. We can help you and coach you. I mean, the virtual program is amazing now. We have Zoom calls if you want to do that. You can get private lessons with me, one-on-one, that I can help you with the things that you're struggling on. I probably get the call every day, and I'm not the best salesman, so if you're hearing this, maybe you'll jump in and, with both feet. But like, you could grab the virtual program, do it all by yourself, and then if you get a hiccup or you need some help on a couple of things, you could look into our Zoom calls and a couple of months of that, and we can help you at home wherever you're at. And that was the whole intent of the virtual program, was to be able to help some guy in Texas or Canada or Florida or wherever, Washington, Oregon, whatever, wherever you're at, we can help you. So jump in, get involved. It's a training program, but it's more of the way that you live with your dogs. It's a lifestyle.
And I think the biggest resource is like, okay, you pick up a puppy, even actually before you pick up a puppy, you get the training course, because then it sets you up for what you need and what to start once the puppy's home. And my rule is I never feed, at least Sage, I never feed her from a bowl. It's always by my hand. We're always working on something.
Yeah.
So just during feeding time, you work with them. And then once they're 4 or 5 months old, if you don't have the time to progress that training, they can send them to you. But at least they have that foundation and the same style that you train.
Yes.
So then their pup won't have to be gone as long, and they'll progress faster because they already know kind of an idea of what you're expecting from them.
And they know how to process and learn information. So when they come here, and we can get done in 4 weeks, what would you normally take 6 to 8 weeks? Because the dog is already in an open mindset of like, oh, what are we doing? What are we doing? How are we learning? And that's huge. That's way better than a dog that's just like, we have a whole t-shirt built around the dog that flips you the middle finger and runs away, and you're trying to catch him. And anyway, well, man, I think this is awesome. I always like to keep them short because I'm one of those guys that doesn't listen to 2-hour podcasts very often. But if you guys have questions or you have thoughts, send us in the DMs or send us an email or jump on the website. But appreciate you, Jake. Appreciate your friendship. Appreciate everything you've done for Best Gun Dogs. And I'm super excited for you this fall to watch you take Poppy and go do exactly what what you wanted to do 6 years ago, 7 years ago, when you started this journey of like, even when you were a kid, right? Hey, I someday want to own a bird dog. And now you're going to go live that dream. So I'm super excited to watch you do that. I want all the updates. I want all the photos because I want to live vicariously through you and David for 30 days and have fun. But it's like, that's what keeps me going, is those photos that you guys send, not just Jake, but all of you guys. When you have that first hunt or that breakthrough moment or that exciting day, you send me that photo at 10 o'clock at night or 1 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't matter. And I get a photo of you and your dog and the bird, and it's like, yeah, that's what it's all about. That's what makes me want to continue to build Best Gun Dogs into something bigger, because we can help people, and then the smile on their face says it all, right? So I'm super excited to watch those photos come. I know they're coming because they've already started, but I'm excited. I'm excited for you, and something that you think maybe isn't quite attainable, you've taken a dog and knocked it out of the park. So good job, man.
Yeah, thank you. Well, yeah, we were hunting the thickest crap. I'm like, if I was hunting this without a dog, there's no way I would have ever found this bird I shot.
Yeah, pointless.
I can't even see my feet. I'm like, hey, Poppy, go find it. And I hear the bird make noise as she's grabbing it. I'm like, hey, she's found it. So then I tell her fetch, and she brings it right back to me. I'm like, there we go. So cool.
I'll never forget in South Dakota one day. Again, we were hunting some cattails like you're talking about. There was moments it's above your head, and then you're like crusting through, and a pheasant came up, and I shot it, and I was like, I kind of know where it's at. So I started walking that general direction and stood where I thought I'd marked it down. I'm standing there, and here comes Henry, shows up with a rooster, and it's like, yep, we're right here. He had went and found it and brought it to me, and that's, those moments are pretty priceless, because like you said, I had no business being in that thick of cover. Without a dog, it would be completely unethical, because you're not going to find them. You're going to go in there and shoot a bird and not find it.
And that's what it's all about. These dogs love doing it. They love working. They love finding the birds. So whether I'm getting birds or not, if she's having fun, she's pointing them, she smells them, she is having a blast. So that's all I can ask for.
Yeah, she's happy. All right, man. Appreciate you. We'll wrap it up.
Appreciate you.
Talk soon.
Thanks for having me on. I'll talk to you later.
Appreciate you guys for listening to the Birddoggin podcast. If you have any other questions, reach out to us via social media at Best Gun Dogs. We're on all the socials, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Probably most active on Instagram. And always You can always reach out on our website, bestgundogs.com. Send us your questions. Let us know how we can help you. And keep listening.